MiniWarGaming, speed the cooler, Batrep!
Eldar turn 2 begins, and we start off. The fire dragons wave serpent moves over, and the dragons of course jump out and start moving up because I aim to just splatter this unit of paladins with massive multi-meltas. So the other one blocks Drago there, trying to just make it harder for him to get over here and kill these guys if he does decide to charge them. So you'll see here that this unit's actually got one guy larger because it does have the Exarch in that unit. And the other cannon moves over, though it has lost its gun, and the other Wave Serpent drops off the Farseer along with the Dire Avenger Exarch and the Dire Avengers that are part of that unit. So just kind of place them up on the hilltop facing down, because I aim to Blade Storm into Drago. And the Farseer, she's got Doom and Guide. I was going to give them Fortune, but I figured if I'm going to get hit by something, I'm probably not getting an armor save anyway. So I decided against it and went for the more magical 2 damage spells. The first group of fire dragons, they don't do anything, but the second group, having the Exarch there, gives them that extra little hit, and they do 5 wounds, and he makes one of the first 2. He's rolling them separately because the guy in the middle is the apothecary, and so he wants to see if he gets to make that save, and it is the unit leader, so he technically is a character. And we're at him now, and he tries to do a few lookout sirs against the last 2, and he makes both lookout sirs, and now he tries to make his armor saves, which he did not. So I guess it's for the best that he made that lookout sir. So his apothecary is all that's left, but I do shoot the bright lance that's on the back of that devil or wave serpent, and it hits and does a wound, and he fails. So that's another instant death, and another Grey Knight goes down. Now we've got in the middle here the other bright lance shooting at Drago. It hits and does not do a wound. Then my sorcerer here, my Eldar Farseer, that's what they're called, does Doom on Drago, and he fails to deny the witch, then does Guide on the Dire Avengers. So they will get to reroll to hit and to wound against Drago. So a whole bunch of shots because they're using their Blade Storm, and they reroll to hit, and they only miss with 3. Then they need 5s to wound because he is toughness 5, and we do get a few extra wounds here, but the reroll really didn't help me all that much. Then he does actually fail 2 of his armor saves on a 2+, so he goes down to 2 already. And now we're rolling me shooting my bright lances around, but they're missing all over the place. Now I'm shooting my Wraithguard. They get a few hits, but rather unlucky there. Now they only need 2s to wound, I believe, but 6s are instant death. So 1 instant death, 2 normal saves. I have him do the normal saves first, figuring that front guy will die, but he does not. And then I go for the instant death, and he makes that save as well. So nothing happens. But I shoot him with my bright lance that's with the guardians in the back there, and it does a wound, which he then fails. So splatter, another guy goes down, and that's that. Now I shoot the other cannon off of my fire prism, which scatters off in the middle of nowhere. And now I shoot the bright lance on the back of my other wave serpent, which does another hit, another wound, and he makes another save. So they're okay, and they pass their leadership. Grey Knight's turn 3 begins here. Not looking good for Grey Knights at this point, but if he gets into close combat, that will be the end of my army. So his Grey Knights move up. Drago rushes towards my Farseer, because if he can kill her, that's an extra victory point. And now we've got his big flyers here just basically turning around. He switched into hover mode at this point because he wants to be able to just pivot and does not want to leave the board. So he switched into hover mode. That's why he just was able to turn like that. He fires all of these little laser guns at my tanks here. Breaks the other prism. Don't know why he bothered to do that. But that gun's broken now. It can't be taken off. It's actually glued on. But it is destroyed. And now he shoots at my other fire prism. My other wave serpent, sorry. And then shoots this one. But I do make my jink. So dodge. Does not work. Shoots it with another gun. His las cannon on there. Does do a hit. Does do a pen. And we didn't dodge that one. And he does do a pen. Okay, yeah, that was a 6 to glance because you're shooting the other gun on it. So it does do another hull point to that tank and takes off its gun. And then we've got the rest of his unit. He does roll a 1 and or rather I roll a 1 and he kills one of my guys from bolt gunfire. Then he charges in with his unit here. Oh no, these are still his bolt guns shooting because he's got so many of these things. And this is me failing my armor saves and lookout sirs and losing one of my guard. And now he goes to do the charge. I do my stand and shoot and still get the reroll. Pretty sure anyway, because guide is still in effect, as is doom. We do another 2 wounds, but he makes them both, and now he goes to charge in. Now he is going up difficult, and because of that, he only charges 3 inches, which is not enough. So Drago's out in the open again. But these guys, they get to charge. I fail to hit with my stand and shoots, and he rolls a 5 again, but this time he's close enough and does make it into close combat. Bad news for those Wraith Guard on the left there, or on the right side, and my units now start moving up. The Warlock along with the other unit, they try and attack, but bad news for them. They attack, they get a few hits and 1 wound, but he does get a regular armor save against it, or rather, he's attacking me with his force weapons. Now I attack back, and I hit once, and I do a wound because I do have flesh pain, but he easily makes that armor save. Now he attacks back, cutting through my units here, and that's the end of combat, but I'm fearless, so nothing happens, so we just stand there. Eldar turn 3 begins, and things are looking pretty good. Even though we are in close combat over there, Drago failing his charge really hurt him. And now my fire dragons are rushing up the side of the board as you get this long look of my arm. The dragons run up because they're just going to burn Drago, and that'll be that. And after that we can just mop up the last 2 in the flyers, because the flyers are in hover mode right now, so they will not be hit on 6s, they'll be hit on regular ballistic skill. So fire dragons move up, the other devilfish. I play Tau. That's why I say it. The Wave Serpent moves up. The Dire Avengers all jump into this Wave Serpent because they're going to go off and take the objective in his deployment. And I was going to ram him, but I decided against it. Just move back. Maybe I'll charge him next time. The Farseer, she does Doom once again, and he tries to deny the Witch, which he fails because Drago's not that great a Psyker compared to my Farseer. Then I use Guide onto the dragons there, who are now hitting on 3s re-rolling, which they miss anyway, and wounding on 2s re-rolling. So we get 5 more wounds, and that's it. Drago goes down. There goes his HQ, and another point for me, and at that point he does concede. So here we are at the end of the game. He does just have the flyers and the 2 paladins left, while most of my army is still intact, and he does not have any way to get to those objectives faster than me. So that's the end of this 1500 point Eldar versus Grey Knights. Stay tuned, Vault members, for a bit of a talk afterwards, and happy wargaming. Alright, Vault members. Stay tuned for the post game. And that was our 1500 of Eldar and Grey Knights. Yeah, stay tuned to hear about that. Remember, go to miniwargaming.com/challenge.